Welcome, everybody. This is Abacus Fish, and we are playing Hexcrawl Adventures. I'm joined by 5 players. We got Seth.
Hey,
We got Sam.
What up?
We got Joe.
Heyo.
We got Sid for the first time.
Hello.
And we got Sophie.
Hello.
Now, as I've said many a times before, but if you're new to the show, just a quick refresher. This is a hexcrawl. Hexcrawl means that it's an open world format. I have a list of towns, I have a list of treasures, I have a list of enemies, NPCs, all sorts of goodies. But the only thing I don't have is control of the direction of the parties and where they go. That's up pretty much to the players. I've set up this game, and now it's up to them to just kind of wander around it as they see fit. And with that said, let's meet some of these characters that are driving the story. We'll start with Seth. Seth, why don't you tell us about Therum Smith?
Therum Smith is very much an average-looking dwarf by most accounts, although he is very strong. He's an adolescent. He's got a big red bushy beard and carries around a sling and a battle axe. And he tends to like to be, because he's an adolescent, he tends to like to be at the front of a battle, wherever that is, even though it tends to get him in trouble. So, yeah, that's Therum.
All right. And Sam, why don't you tell us about Titch Kirkner?
Titch Kirkner is the last surviving member of a vassal family to the, what are they called again? Which family?
Shieldheart.
Shield Hearts. He's a cleric, very devout. He's on the shorter side, which is accentuated by a hump. He wears a robe with a big hood, and he has like he's very like craggy sort of features that age him more than his physical age, but he has a charisma and an intensity that shines through.
All right. And Joe, why don't you tell us about Lord Stickbeard Smith?
Lord Stickbeard Smith has only been recently named to be a lord. Stickbeard still finds pride in being one of the first people to flee from the north. And if I remember relations correctly, I am uncle to Therum Smith, a younger middle-aged dwarf, also short, also thick, broad, stout. Most of the time still seen to be wearing blacksmith's work clothes, thick denim and leather hides. Still has his hair and has a full black beard that's just black from all of the soot from working smiths for so long. He is the kind of guy that doesn't like making trouble, and doesn't really get involved in much except when there's a problem to be solved or something. He's the kind of man who gets something done when something needs to be done, and especially when nobody else wants to do it. And that kind of get shit done attitude is what has garnered him so much attention and this new title.
All right. And Sid, why don't you tell us about Tuckbit Shieldheart?
Duckbit Shieldheart is a light-skinned, somewhat short human with a little extra pudge. He's got a carefully maintained tonsure haircut and a strong beard and V. He wears brown religious robes over his plate mail, which is as awkward as it sounds. While he has lived a life at home in service of his community as a cleric of Cosgrove, his main focus was as a healer of the sick and injured. With his grandfather entering a coma and Tuckbit being unable to help him, he began to question his faith and sought out to seek some adventure or just see a new way of life.
All right. And finally, we have Sophie with Kailani Farron.
Yeah, so Kailani Farron is a young elf who is pretty tall, lean, and muscular, as many an elf are in this region. And she's got bright periwinkle hair, usually wearing some sort of like headband she made from grasses or something. It's kind of hard being an elf out here because people can be kind of mean to them or super mean to them. But she loves her fellow heroes of the West March and is grateful for the kind people she's met in the city of Vassith, um, and hopes to meet more elves in the future.
All right. So, it is Quarterdy, the 24th of Florial, 7932 year of Cosgrove. A few days have passed. The festival is over, and the heroes of the West March have moved out of the Soldier's Salvation. The party finds themselves waking up at the Benson's bed and breakfast inside the city of Vassith. Comfortable and well-decorated furnishings surround you, while the smell of garlic and fresh-baked bread wafts in from the kitchen downstairs. The castle towers and church steeples can be seen over the rooftops from the view of your luxurious penthouse suite. The church bells ring, echoing into the building alongside the horses' hooves clopping sharply on the cobblestone roads below. On the ground, the dizzying mass of people whoosh through the thin but crowded streets. Tall row houses block out the morning sun, covering the city in artificial twilight. The sky is cloudy, and with darkness approaching, you know some creatures that are normally have sensitivity to light will not this day. As you wake up, you are, getting situated, and I have to get to the right slide so I can ping certain areas, but Mrs. Benson has prepared you guys a breakfast for the table. The breakfast consists of coffee with heavy cream and sugar, rustic bread with honey and pesto, fried eggs with Munster cheese, and salted pear slices for dessert.
By Cosgrove's shield, this is a good breakfast.
This is better eaten than we ever ate in camp.
You're telling me. This is amazing. You guys moved to the city to this? I'm never going back.
I don't think we've moved here, but it would be nice if the cook back at camp could muster this sort of talent.
Just be grateful.
Let's offer a prayer for our good favor.
You go right
Yes.
ahead. I'm gonna eat.
Let's totally do that. That sounds like a great idea.
Therum just kind of digs in while they pray.
Kailani's face is stuffed with food, but she'll pause and like wait for that prayer.
So what are we doing today? What's our plan? You're our boss, Stickbeard.
I don't know if we had. I think we had queued up another like mini quest last time, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh, you guys went into that mine that was infested with spiders.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll leave it up to Stickbeard. the lord. I hope, as a new lord, he might want to take advantage of that new status around town.
Would it
So
be?
over, I'll just let you guys know that over here is kind of your planning area. So if you want me to at any point open the city map up or the overworld map up, just say so and I'll change the view. But at this moment, I'm just assuming that you're over here talking about your day while eating breakfast.
I don't know what they put in this coffee, but this is amazing.
I think it's the sugar.
That would do it. That would do it.
And I say this while drinking like the biggest freaking mug of coffee, black as sin.
If you think about it, we're just adding caffeine and sugar to our system, so we just are giving ourselves fuel to go fight spiders or something. This is medicine. As your cleric, just drink your coffee. We're fine.
Ah, yeah. Stickbeard holds back holds back laughter and just sort of chuckles into into his closed mouth. So, looking at the previous notes, evidently we're looking for a necromancer's cooperator on behalf of the Masons Guild. And then there's something that says kill them all if you have to, Merchants Guild. So are we killing members of the Merchants Guild? Or is there somebody that the Merchants Guild wants dead?
Yeah. So that is the quest that is offered to you by the Merchants Guild. They want you to kill every one of the Brightmoor family.
And then
And
can
and
the
that
criminal
the quest title is his exact quote: "Kill them all
kill
if you
them
have
all
to."
if you have to? And then can the criminal underground get any deeper? The Brightmoor family. And then an anonymous bandit from the Rangers Guild. Vothig.
Do
So,
we know any houses that? Go ahead.
oh no, no, you go
Ac-
ahead.
Do we know any houses that want to take out the Brightmoors too? Maybe we could join up with them or play some Game of Thrones and make them do it for us.
So just a quick refresher here on how the houses work. Houses rule the countryside. They don't really have much influence in the city of Aseth.
Could we get the Rangers Guild then to help us?
Again, another reminder, Jesse Wagler, the Merchants Guild guy, did insinuate that the Rangers Guild is in cahoots with the Brightmoor family.
Oh.
So
I'm
was
just going back to drinking my coffee.
we were the woman's table that we were at last time we played together?
Lady
Was
Skybraid.
that was a Skyblade. Okay, that wasn't a Brightmoor. Well, we were up to some stuff.
So it sounds like investigating the Brightmoor family would be a pretty good idea for both regular groups of adventurers, if I can kind of halfway metagame here. And I'm looking at it going, somebody's got to take care of these guys. And it sounds like fate is twisting our arm. And who knows? Maybe if we do take care of them, there will be more opportunities to come our way from it. But I still worry about all of those death trees. What did we call them? Ash trees. There was
Blight
still like
trees.
blight trees, thank you. But I still worry about the blight trees that dot the countryside. Now, those would be my two propositions. Either return and see if there's more to be done with the blight trees, or dive deep into the Brightmoor family and perhaps rout out that evil.
Was the sewer stuff connected to the Brightmoors? I can't remember.
Yeah, so that quest, Can the Criminal Underground Go Any Deeper? That's the quest that the Brightmoors have offered you, which is, hey, get us away into the underground. Which, again, after dealing with the Brightmoors, you guys have been kind of reluctant to follow up on that quest, which is understandable.
Yeah,
Perhaps we take
we
out the
can.
Brightmoors and then we go underground ourselves.
Yeah, if we took out the Brightmoors, we could have more opportunities for ourselves, more resources for ourselves to, go deal with more blight trees.
So you
So-
become the Mafia. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So the entrance to the underground is under this bed and breakfast. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yeah, you have access right now.
Oh, and also, I was wondering, as an aside, could I say that I was patching up some of those holes the last few days since we've been here a few days?
I
Like
mean, you know what? Sure. Give me a constitution check to see how much work you actually put in.
Okay, that didn't work. Let me try again.
Nice.
I will say that you patched it up enough that you're pretty sure, like, nothing bigger than a kobold could sneak in through there, but, a lot of little small critters still live in the dark.
It's better. So they were threatening. So basically, like, to get the people who build stuff in town. What are they called again?
Mason's Guild?
Masons.
The Masons Guild. So if the Masons Guild came in, they would basically seal off the sewer. So I
Yep.
offered to patch up, like, the holes in the floor myself in the meantime until we get into the sewer. So that's why I was doing that.
Could we get all crafty with it and make like a sturdy door? We got a couple of blacksmiths. I think that's perfect.
The hatch is secure. The hatch is fine. It's just that going into the basement is risky business. It's always going to be risky business. The foundation is, pretty much gone. There are a lot of ways for small critters to get in from the sewers.
Mm.
I haven't interacted with the Brightmoors, but are we ready to take on a crime family?
We certainly have enough people to, deal with any threat. Oh, before we go take care of anything, does everyone have the equipment out of the treasury that they want?
That's a good point. Is anyone using the silver shield +1?
I think I was.
You
Do you
can.
want it?
I was. My second question was, is anyone using the sling +1? So if you
Uh,
want the shield, is that available?
I believe I am using the sling. Let me check.
Those are, I think, the only things that I could use. But if they're both being used, that's fine. I don't need to use
Oh,
them.
you should take the silver shield. I have the goblin bane if that's okay with people.
Should be right.
Yeah, I will. I will gratefully take this. I'll look at it and just you see a smile on my face, and I'm just like, it's so shiny, finally.
And I usually wander around with the ring of fire resistance.
I'm gonna borrow a glittering gambeson for today since Guilford is not here. And
We won't tell him.
okay.
There's also
Um,
a dwarf-sized leather dwarf/halfling-sized leather armor.
Because I am a cleric that doesn't have any spells yet, can I take the potion of healing with the intention of giving it to whoever gets the most injured? I'll roleplay that medic.
Yeah. Do we have? We only have one, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Take. Yeah. Go ahead. Take it.
I'm also gonna, unless anybody's using the Ring of Invisibility, I'll just bring that one along.
If I'm using something, do you want me to annotate that right now or no? I think my concern with the Brightmoors is it's kind of like if you aim for the king, don't miss. So I think if we don't like eradicate them, then we'll just be surrounded by their agents in the town, and I don't like what that looks like. But if we're confident we can cut the head off of the snake and not have to watch our backs, then I think it sounds great.
Well, we've got a party of 6 as opposed to a party of usually 3 or 4. So, um, I think we can take them.
Everybody roll a wisdom check.
Oh.
Heck.
Threshold modifier 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Dang.
Oh,
Kailani,
You're really
you know,
enjoying those
that
pastries.
that coffee was still just so good, and you know, you're
Yeah.
still thinking about breakfast. But everybody else, as you're talking about the Brightmoors, you're like, okay, we know where they are, like the Heavy Bender, that's their tavern, and so we kind of know where their headquarters are. But what we don't know is the size of their force and the amount of influence they hold. Those are two very dangerous prospects not to understand if going after the Brightmoor family.
Something tells me they don't have an org chart.
Just look up a ledger somewhere where they, you know, they're mobsters, but they you know they keep things they're very meticulous in their bookkeeping.
Yeah.
Could we find that those two people that we keep running into, I don't remember their names,
Rocco
that
and
work for
Muggsy.
them? Rocco and Muggsy. Could we go? Do you think we could go find Rocco and Muggsy and try to get them information out of them? See what their organizational structure looks like.
If we can get the big one alone, I think we can.
Yeah.
Cosgrove will protect us, right? No harm can go wrong.
Of course, they don't. Cosgrove's shield does not lay over them.
All right, let's go. Let's go try to get the boss.
I'll go to the
Sounds-
city map.
there we go.
So the back wall is where they are located, which is just outside the castle walls.
Would we expect that outside the castle walls would be dangerous because of the overcast, foggy day? Like
If
extra dangerous?
If you got too far into the wilderness, it might be a consideration, yeah. But just outside the castle walls, where there are still shanty towns about, no. So I'm curious as to how you're gonna go about this. Are you just heading directly towards the heavy bender, or are you gonna like go around the back wall and ask around, or
Are we looking for Rocco and Muggsy?
I think we have a couple of different approaches, and we could put it to vote if you guys want to. We could like go directly for the boss and just try to kill him before we die. We could go try to get more information on who they work with and try to flip someone. We could pretend to work with the boss, get him on our good side, and then like betray him. Or maybe we could like go talk to some houses or other groups to figure out information and see if we can get some allies. I think any of those would be an approach.
I'm sure wholesome Cosgrove fearing houses may be aligned against them. Might be good to get, figure out what their alliances are, what the, what the temp is.
Do we know any houses or organizations that are without a doubt against them that we could go try to get information from first? We know that the Rangers Guild works with them. Do we know any other guilds or houses that are definitely against them?
Bank of the Merchants Guild?
That's true. Let's. If you guys are up for it, do you guys want to go talk to that merchant and ask him some of these questions?
Yeah. Merchants probably wouldn't mind to have an organized criminal organization removed from the equation.
All right.
Titch, do you want to take this good cleric, bad cleric?
Off to the camp.
Mhm.
Or the bank. The bank.
There are only good clerics.
Oh, you're not there yet. Okay.
I'm gonna be invisible.
I don't mind twisting arms.
Also, Stickbeard Smith, are you wearing like your normal gear, or are you wearing your lordly gear?
Normal? Are you insane?
Okay.
All right. So 2 dwarfs, 2 clerics, and an invisible elf walk into a bank.
Yep.
Mm.
So,
Ow.
it is the morning. It's a bit.
This does feel like a bit.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm
Good
trying
one,
to
I
look up
guess.
information and talk at the same time, and it's not working. So hold on. Let me search my mental palace.
All
right.
Making snide remarks. Anyways,
Atmosphere is very laid back. There are not very many customers in here, and there's a lot of faceless, nameless, genderless NPCs who are just blank canvases. But there is one NPC here, Jesse Wagler. Jesse Wagler is a light complexioned man of average height and kind of stout. He's got long blonde hair, but bald on top, with a trim blonde beard. He wears a bunch of jewelry on his fingers and around his neck, and he's got this just a magnificent yellow silk robe. And he is sitting on the couch watching the workers eating grapes.
Again with the grapes. This guy.
Sign of wealth.
Who here has met this guy before?
The only person who's interacted with him is not here today.
Oh,
But he came back outside and relayed what happened to the. I was in that group, so
mm. So you
we
have
brought
a
like
passing familiarity.
yeah, we came to this bank with these like special gold medallions that were like from this bank that the Brightmoors had stolen, and we got them from the job we did with the Brightmoors. And when we came here with them, he was like, hmm. And that's when he let us know he wanted us to kill them all.
How do we want to play this? Does anyone particularly want to go
I
talk to
will.
him?
I will introduce our lord. That's the Therum, right?
Stickbeard.
Stickbeard. Sorry, I'm bad with names. Okay.
Ooh, other dwarf.
I'll walk up and just go, Lord Waggler, and then I'll bow, and then I'll say, um, um, behind the glorious shield of Cosgrove, I would like to introduce our Lord, Stickbeard Smith, and then I'll bow
yes,
again and back away.
the dwarf lord. And he actually turns to you, Titch, and says, "By the way, it is Guildmaster Waggler." And then turns to you, Lord Smith, what brings you to my fine establishment this morning?
Wait a minute, I've lost track. So wait, which guild are we at?
Merchants Guild.
Okay. Christ. Okay.
Throw your weight around, Chief.
Yeah, exactly.
We went here because this guy's the guy that gave us the quest, so we're pretty sure that he would be a reliable ally against them.
Or at least enough to provide information about the prominence of the Brightmoor family.
Oh, guild master. We're here to see about your problem with the Brightmoor family. And we need information. Any leads that you can provide us? Any people of interest? Such and such.
He looks around at all of you and then says, "Follow me." And he
Keep your guard
walks
up.
over into his vault
Oh, God.
and he tells the other checkers, "We'll be needing the vault for the next few moments. Do not step in." And the checkers kind of like nod. Yeah, yes, Mr. Waggler, Guildmaster Waggler, sir.
Is there anything we can roll to see if this is like a trap, like insight check or something like that?
If you want.
I was gonna say it's like I drop the like key phrase like God, I'm so glad I had that coffee this morning, and that's my signal to Kailani who presumably is still in. Wait, were you invisible for this encounter?
Yes, I'm still
Stay
just following you
outside.
guys
Don't.
silently, and I can do that.
Thank you. Wink, wink, wink.
What specifically am I rolling?
Wisdom? His action didn't seem like something like deceptive towards you. He seemed to be more concerned with his surroundings and the nature of the conversation. So no, you don't get the vibe that he's setting you up for a trap.
All right, I will trust in Cosgrove. I look to my fellow cleric and I say, "We trust in Cosgrove, right?" And I will walk after this guy.
Of course. No one blessed with this much wealth could be in disfavor with Cosgrove. Assuming proper tithes are being paid, and then I'll look at the guild master.
Of course, I'm a man of the people, he says as he adjusts one of his big giant rings with a ruby on it. Please, step into the vault.
I step into the vault.
Okay,
I'll
so
sit
you're
on a pile of gold.
yeah, no, that's just for show. But yeah, basically, like, you see a whole bunch of money around you, and he is watching you like a hawk. And he says, "No one will hear us in here. I have full authority over this ground. None of my workers should interrupt us, and no bystanders should be able to eavesdrop on us. You can never be too careful with the Brightmoors. They have ears everywhere."
I want to go to a far wall and lean against a wall, looking
Oh.
really comfortable and casual, while still being able to hear him.
I'm gonna look around for like disembodied ears.
Disembodied ears?
Like just pieces of Van Gogh lying on the floor.
Well, they have ears everywhere, so
Oh
my
my
first
God.
reaction is for ears.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Can I take a moment of mental damage?
That was a good one.
Agreed. I actually like that.
And I'll lean over and say, "Sir, I see no ears here. I think we're okay."
He looks at you and just shakes his head, and then turns to you, Tuckbit, and says, "So," or no, sorry, turns over to Stickbeard and says, what do you want to know?"
So the goal, presumably, is to eradicate this group. We see no real alternative to it if they are as bad as everyone says that they are. And, at least to my summation, the quickest way to eradicate a group, is to cut off the head and any who and then pick off any of the others who would try to reestablish themselves. So, do you know who their leader is? Do you know where we might find him? And do you know how large of a force he commands?
Their leader, Mr. Caleb Brightmore.
Dun dun dun. Oh.
Oh, wait, no, Roland Brightmore. Sorry. I think you guys actually met him. Yeah, a bit on the tall side, like tan complexion. He's got a scar over one of his eyes, ponytail slicked back. Wears a very fitted gambeson and fitted trousers. Looks like a nobleman. Bit sketchy though. You've dealt with him directly. But you're asking Jesse Wegler, yeah, and he says, "Oh, Roland Brightmore, that scoundrel."
But I've heard the name. Where does he reside? How do we find him?
I believe he has an establishment, the Heavy Bender, over at the back wall, where he spends a lot of his time doing God knows what. Oh, Cosgrove knows what.
He does.
You would think so.
That's where your friends live, right? To about what are their names? The two guys, Muggsy and Rocco, right?
Yeah, they work for him. And one of them's super fun. So, you're guild master. I'll step forward, if I may. You don't like the Brightmoors. We hear that the Rangers Guild works with the Brightmoors. That's kind of troubling. So, if we wanted to get some allies for this kind of a thing, who could we trust? Do you have soldiers? Do you know someone who does?
I assure you that the manpower that I have access to, I use purely in defense of this fine establishment. If
Oh,
you,
yes, I'm sure. But what we need to know is how deep does the ties go between the Brightmore family and uh, like if the Brightmore family were to be threatened or by us, who who in the community would be coming after us?
that is hard to say. Rangers Guild for sure. But it is
Why?
strange, isn't it, that the Brightmore family has been able to establish itself with just merely paying off the Rangers Guild? I mean, if the king had any, and he like looks around trying to make sure no one else is listening, if the king were to be more effective, certainly the Brightmore family wouldn't be as established as they were in this fine city of Vassith.
Where do you think the king's loyalties lie?
He looks again looks around.
I'll say it in a hushed tone.
His pocketbook.
Mm. Is that does does the king benefit financially from the Brightmore family's activities?
If he's getting the cut, he's basically hedging his bets. Whether you're paying taxes or smuggling through the Brightmore family, he's getting a taste of everything that moves through this city.
And that would explain why the Rangers Guild is so loyal to the Brightmore family.
He
What
nods but doesn't say anything.
what if the Brightmore family were to be removed, would you would become the beneficiary of that business, would you not?
I might be able to utilize the infrastructure if it were without its leadership. Yes.
Would you then increase would you give the king a taste of it to ensure that the transition could happen smoothly? In other words, so the king would not miss uh, that's the old structure.
I suppose I could do my duty for my city. After all, these people would be lost without us bankers. Surely, yes.
An
I shall.
honest business an honest businessman such as yourself is surely more preferable than the uh, treacherous, underhanded ways of uh, Brightmore family. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yes, I would agree.
Would you say that the all the other families would be against the business practices of the Brightmoors?
Well, there was an extension. of them. But they went by a different name. They actually they were Brightmoor, but then they ended up betraying the Brightmoors. They were known as the Bandits of the Flaming Fist.
Oh. Oops.
Well,
So
I
if
was
we
well, I was sort of thinking that if we expose, you know, the Brightmoor's activities, like whatever the Brightmoors are paying the king isn't as much as, what all the noble families are bringing in to the crown, if you know what I'm saying. So it's like, if the Brightmoor's activities are more public, then the other noble families will have to, could basically like go on strike or withhold, you know, their contribution unless the Brightmoor situation is dealt with. Because if everybody is doing things by the book and someone is going around that and getting away with it, uh, then obviously everyone sort of has a vested interest in stopping that from happening. Because everybody should be playing by the rules, otherwise it's an unfair market.
there might be a quicker way to get what we want. If the king is getting taxes from both avenues, he's probably going to get more taxes from the above board one. So maybe a diplomatic approach. Maybe we show the king via math that he'll get more money, and then we convince him to use his forces to take out the Brightmoors, make their actions gone. We'll give all that business to you, Bankmaster. I hope that's the right title. And maybe we can get 1% of that tax, and everybody wins except for the Brightmoors. You get more money, the king gets more money, we get more money.
And the church.
Yeah, the church.
All
Almost
right.
sounded like an afterthought.
While that's all going down, Kailani, you're outside the bank.
I am inside the bank, invisible.
Oh, I see. So you're in the
Just
vaults and
outside the vault. I'm not in the vault.
you're not in the vault. Okay. You see by the front door as people walk in, eventually one figure comes in. He is a blue hooded figure, tall, skinny. He has searching my mental palace. I have too many notes.
I remember a guy in blue.
Oh my gosh, I cannot find his description. Okay, well, anyways, tall, skinny guy. He's got a mustache, gray hair, um, with intense blue eyes, and around his neck is a silver necklace, chain necklace, with a big giant silver plate that is the Mason's Guild. He walks in, turns right towards you, Kailani,
Oh god.
and says, "Reveal yourself."
I will do so.
When you do, it does kind of create a bit of a commotion with the other workers who just like like see one of the Masons Guild walk in and they were already kind of freaking out. But then when he like turned into a random direction where no one is and just said, "Reveal yourself," and you appear, that kind of makes them go, "Oh, oh." Um, you know that using magic within these city walls is highly frowned upon.
Frowned upon, but not forbidden. I am not out there.
I mean, that's this, yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
You have to understand. And he steps closer and says in a lower voice so the other workers can't hear from a distance, it says, "You have to understand. We are in the same boat, both looked at with suspicion if we use our gifts recklessly. It only adds to their suspicion."
Oh, you're making a new friend.
Yeah, that is a fair point, sir. It won't happen again.
Good. So, where is your lord? The Her Excellency, the High Mason, wishes to speak with him.
Um, he was around here somewhere, and I'm stalling right now until they show up again.
It's at this point when you guys are all talking about it's like, yeah, and we'll make all more money. That's when you guys kind of hear this commotion, and then you hear Seeker Tacitus's high nasally voice kind of over the silence. And yeah, Guildmaster Waggler kind of looks at you and goes, "What is happening in my bank?" And he walks out.
Well, before he walks out, during that whole conversation, I would have tried to look at the treasure around us to see if anything would have been easily stolen and not missed, and assess to see how much the guildmaster is paying attention, and only if I was so confident that he was not looking and I could take something small, not grandiose, would I try to steal something. So if my character sees any of that within reason, I'll try to steal something. But if it's just like, yeah, that's not going to happen, then I would not even try.
So, like, you do see kind of like, there's like a pile of coins, and there's just kind of like a couple of coins off or a few coins kind of off to the side of the pile, and you think if I just kind of slid one by, but as you put your finger towards the coin, like the area around it starts glowing blue with all these runes.
And at that point, I would just immediately stop doing anything.
I stare 10,000 daggers into your eyes.
I shrug, follow after them.
Damn.
And Guildmaster, Waggler at first looks all frustrated, but when he sees Secret Tacitus, like his face just drops, and he's like, "Oh, Secret Tacitus, what brings you to my fine establishment this morning?" Secret Tacitus turns to him, and then looks down at you, Stickbeard, and says, "Him." And
God, I'm popular.
Guildmaster Waggler goes, "Yes, right, right. Don't let me stall you. I got work to do. Have a nice day, Lord Smith. Goodbye."
It would seem I am popular as always.
So Secret Tacitus steps up to you and goes, "Her Excellency, the High Mason Idamir wishes to speak with you."
Well, we aren't too busy. Lead the way. icon.
Would I know that the Masons Guild doesn't like the bishop?
You haven't. Well, I would assume that like you guys have talked about the Masons Guild, and that's kind of been brought up that they don't like the local clergy.
Yeah, and I think Brian might have mentioned it last game. I'm not sure. But
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I think he has.
Well, on the way there, I'm going to ask questions about that. Like, what is the issue with the bishop?
Seeker Tacitus. Whenever you talk to him, he doesn't respond except for turning his head and giving you the most awkward side eye ever. Eventually, you come to the Masons Guild, which is right by the cathedral. Well, it's like across the
Before we
street.
go in, I just want to be like, you're not gonna tell Grand Mason Idamir, right? Like, or she's just, I don't think she likes me very much, and yeah, it won't happen again.
You are you are part of this kingdom now, and it is my duty as the Masons Guild to protect the interests of the kingdom of Vassith. In that regard, I will keep the peace and keep my silence. But if I so much as see you wield a magic around so recklessly again, I might have to make an official report.
You got it. No need to do that.
Right this way.
Cosgrove believes that asking for and granting forgiveness is one of the most holy things you can do.
Cosgrove does say that. Thank you for apologizing to our companion. I'm just kidding. Let's move on.
Yeah, he just kind of he doesn't respond, but stares at you with like, he's got that I don't know, snooty math teacher energy. So yeah, he leads you over to
Sorry.
the office, and there is a blue-robed figure sitting. It is an older woman with silver hair under a blue robe, dark complexion, with piercing green eyes. And she looks up. Ah, yes. Thank you for coming in. Please sit down. And as she does that, like 4 columns of the floor just kind of, or 5 columns. Sorry, there's 5 of you. Yeah, 5 columns eject from across the desk.
What is the meaning of casting aspersions on the bishop? I'll say, and point. Hey, this is the most important thing to me. Okay.
Hold yourself, boy, lest I hold you. And now you can't move.
Hi, Grand Mason Idamir, and I'll just like take a seat. It's like,
I'll say, how dare you?
I knew having the clergy here would be a problem. Oh. She stands up, and she is way taller than you think she is, especially for an older lady as herself. And she looks down at you and says, I am the Grand Mason, and you will refer to me as Her Excellency. Refusal to do so to respect my title in my house will only lead to more discipline. Is that understood, man of Cosgrove?
Yes, Her Excellency.
Yeah, she lets go of the spell, and you almost kind of fall to the floor because, like, you were trying to, you weren't supporting yourself at that point. She was.
Was I calling her the incorrect thing?
She was just more mad that somebody came into her office and started accusing her of things.
I only wish to protect the sanctity of what happens within these walls.
I'll go to help up my fellow cleric, and as I'm helping him up, I'll say, "Wow, I really thought the Shield of Cosgrove would have protected you from that."
Idamir stifles a snicker. So, it has been many days. It's almost been 2 weeks. How is the investigation going?
Was that directly at Stickbeard, or was that at all of us?
All of you?
Well, one of our compatriots believes that the bishop is involved in this necromancy. I've looked through their books, and although I would never believe such an accusation, regardless, I've seen no evidence that they're tied to necromancy. Her Excellency.
Would you mind sharing what you saw?
Gladly. I don't think it's much of a secret. I just looked through some of the history of the church and uncovered some discrepancies in the form of worship between the faith that I'm from and how they worship here in this land. It's more sacrifice and blood oriented, although they seem to have moved somewhat away from their classical underpinnings.
But my understanding is the sacrifice of people is what created the blight trees. A few of you witnessed the necromancers do that. Could it be related to that tradition?
Perhaps if there were still some adherents, but I've seen no evidence that the church is involved in that at this present time. It seems to be more related to their ceremonial outward appearance than anything else.
Admittedly, though, Your Excellency, we haven't had a lot of opportunities to investigate this as much as we would have liked. It's true that my companion has read some of those books and didn't find any evidence, but we haven't looked into enough of their dark corners to really rule it out. I would say it's still on the fence.
I know that their faith in Cosgrove is strong. I find it beyond belief that the faithful in Cosgrove could suffer something like that.
You know that they told you that their faith in Cosgrove is strong.
I have witnessed it. I believe the wellspring of their belief is sincere.
All right. Any other leads?
If you potentially knew of a 1,000-year-old elf, you wouldn't like be racist and kill him or anything, right? I do say that
talking
in
about
character.
that madman who lives in the cabin near Maurice's Reach?
Well, considering you know about him, yeah, he's old. I mean, I haven't met him myself, but like my companions have told me about him. Like he was there, so if anyone knows anything, it's him.
He gets so sad though when we bring things up.
I don't want to make him sad, but it does sound like he has the most information. And out of character, where did we get that tome that we gave to the cartographer who's translating it?
That was found at the bottom of this city in a bunch of No. It was at the no. It's where the goblins were. You guys ended up in a place. You found a library, and that's where you found the tome.
I don't know if I want to tell her about the book, but I just wanted to ask where it was from.
I would like to ask Her Excellency, what is the nature of this disagreement that you seem to have with the bishop?
Her eyes get kind of intense for a second. He is a fool of the faith, and not a person of logic or reason. And he may make his beautiful speeches, but I know what he is. No one is that pious. No one is that innocent. He's hiding something, I know it.
I bristle a little bit. I say, believe it is to be that. I believe it is entirely possible to be that pious. However, I am new in this land. Perhaps you should analyze your intolerance and be more open to the benefits of the faith.
I actually think she's got something here. Every single guard, city, individual, they've all been racist. That guy, he's like the opposite, and he's really pious. Like, as a cleric, like he's a bit of a zealot. And so, Your Excellency, you've known him for a couple of decades. Do you have any evidence more than a hunch? Putting aside that he might be more pious, putting aside those, what makes you think necromancy? What makes you think he's not just a fool rather than actually nefarious?
I don't, but I. There's another reason I called you over here. If you have nothing else. And she slowly stands up. Please follow me. And goes over to this room.
As we're going, I will say that if it will put your mind at ease, I have a personal interest in continuing to investigate the church's faith, and I have nothing about my findings. I only wish to show you about the purity of allowing yourself to be shielded by Cosgrove.
We shall see how much Cosgrove's shield protects me. I will eat my words when that happens. But until then,
I'll get you some catch up. Your Excellency.
she walks over to this area. As the room's empty, nobody else is in here. But as she walks in, this cupboard right here starts vibrating, brumbling, and you can actually hear groans inside the cupboard. She turns to the last person who entered, whoever that is, and says, "Close the door."
Close the door.
After the door is closed, she opens up the cupboard and a bag, like a vibrating bag, about human sized, falls out and flops on the ground. She pins it with her staff and then waves her hand, kind of opening up the bag and pulling it back. And you guys see a zombie as it's biting around, like thrashing.
I'll reflexively hold up my holy symbol.
I'm gonna move closer. I haven't seen one of these in person. I'm just gonna start studying it from a distance.
Back away from its taint, brother.
Oh, this is fascinating. Look at this. Its jaw is falling off. I'm gonna grab my mace and just kind of poke its jaw.
And 10,000 more daggers being stared at Hitch.
Tuckbit.
Which one are you staring at? Me?
Huh?
Tuckbit, not Titch.
Oh, my bad.
I will see that, and I'll stand up and be like, fine, fine. I'll study another one. We'll be civil.
Horrific apostasy. What is the meaning of this, Your Excellency?
It was found near the back wall, wandering the streets. We found it.
Mhm.
Our necromancer's cooperator seems to be a necromancer himself.
This sounds like a case of double necromancy. Oh no.
The worst kind of necromancy.
Do we know if necromancy is arcane or divine?
Definitely arcane, right?
It can be both. It just depends. Oh yeah. While this is happening, for a second, Therum, the groanings of the zombie is deafened by a high-pitched snickering. You imagine, or you can see from like just at the edge of your view, a person. He's got a black goatee, black hair, short hair, wearing a orange chaperon and orange puffy coat and orange puffy pants, and he's got flaming eyes. Anyways, when you see him like out of the corner of your eye, you turn to as the snickering occurs, you turn in that direction and he's gone.
My visions are returning. The necromancer. I still have a link with him.
And just a reminder that the vision started when you destroyed one of those knives.
Yeah.
Is Therum the only one who's destroyed a knife?
Yes.
What are these knives?
They're daggers that the necromancers, or at least his minions, carry. And it emulated, or it put off a dark energy. And when I went to smash it, every time I would smash it, I'd get visions, and then I did break it, and ever since then, I've been having occasional visions of the necromancer. It seems like I have some sort of connection with them, but I'm not fully certain on what it means.
I shall pray for you.
Was this the only one you found, Your Excellency?
So far,
What is the identity of this poor lost soul?
don't know. Probably lived in one of the shanty towns.
Well, he can't have traveled far. Was there a shanty town that was nearest to where you located him?
Back wall's a shanty town.
Oh, just the back wall. Okay.
Back wall's shanty town, but the other shanty towns are here. Let's get the city map out so I can actually point them out to you. If I can find the city map. Ah, there it is. Okay, perfect. Okay, so yeah, the back wall is a shanty town, but there's also the Copper District has a shanty town, and the Merchant's Gate, which does have cities within or a district within the walls, but also has a shanty town right outside the walls. So this guy could have come from any one of these shanty towns.
Where exactly was he found? Oh, sorry.
I don't suppose there's records of people living in shantytowns of missing people.
Missing persons reports?
I doubt he even had a family name. It's the way a lot of City of Vasith, in many ways, is accepting, but because of that, we end up with a lot of functional orphans, you could say.
What time of day was he found?
It was past midnight, night before last.
Can't imagine he would have been out for very long before being seen, so I can't imagine that where he was created or at least released was too far. It might be worth investigating. Have you already had someone look into this?
Yes, Seeker Tacitus. He will be helping with your investigation from here on.
Does he already have any leads that he can share?
He should be waiting by the entrance. Don't keep him waiting long.
Seeing as how you've kept this alive, have you learned anything through observing?
There is something very peculiar about this. You see, and she kind of like waves her hand, and a bare arm goes out, and the zombie is trying to use it, but obviously is like being held in place. And then she pulls up his long sleeve, and there's a bunch of these crazy ritual tattoos. That is not arcane. At least, not a magic script I recognize. But, after studying it some, I now know what it is. It's the language of him. And by him, everyone knows Chernabog.
Can you mind if I write these down? I want to go ask that really old elf whose name exists and I can't remember what it is.
Colress.
Colress, thank you. Do you mind if we write these runes down? I'd like to take them to Colress and see if he can translate them. He was alive then. He might know. Or maybe someone in the city?
Go ahead.
I will find some paper in the room, and maybe I have some on me. I'm not sure. I haven't thought that far ahead. I will write them down and then fold it up and tuck it in my robes, hoping that nobody finds that, because that's going to be hard to explain.
If I may, can I examine this creature myself? Your Excellency.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll see if I can, with my clericy background, I'll see if I can, discover anything else. I'll holding my holy symbol up, and I look disgusted, but
Go ahead and do an intelligence and wisdom.
wow, I succeeded on my intelligence test.
Nice, nice. Okay.
I'm real dumb.
Yeah, this isn't arcane magic. This is indeed divine magic, and the script, there is a strangeness to it, and reading it starts giving you a headache, and your holy symbol starts getting really hot and falls out of your hand.
Oh, it's around my neck, so it just kind of flop against my robe or whatever.
Yeah, but it gets like searingly hot. Doesn't burn your clothes or anything, but it burns you.
We must get to the bottom of this as quickly as possible. And I offer a prayer to Cosgrove. I'll do I get anything else from the rest of the body, or is it just pretty unremarkable except for the tattoo?
Yeah, there might be more information depending on what you're looking at.
Yeah, like search in his pockets, um, clothing, maybe the rest of his body.
So yeah, he definitely died from a lethal wound to the back of the neck, which is very small. Seems like it was a wound to kill him, but not damage his body too much. So he was killed for the exact purpose of becoming a zombie. His clothing makes it. He looks like he's a courier, someone who just like lifts stuff and moves it from one end to the other. Or, yeah, courier.
Is there like a courier organization specifically in town, or is it just like a freelance thing?
It's like it is a low trade. It's very low trade. It is technically associated with the Merchants Guild, but it's not like as stringent as say like the Blacksmiths Guild or the any other guild effectively. Courier is like bottom of the barrel.
Gotcha. So he could be associated with pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll point out that this was clearly like a ritual killing.
Are there any other tattoos or blemishes or scars that we can see that might have existed before this happened that might help us identify him?
Let me make a roll. do find on his person what looks to be a broken part of some kind of brooch that would have gone around his neck, but the clasp is absolutely broken. It's in his pocket. But the one thing about the brooch that kind of is curious is there's another half to it. It looks like it's kind of like a matching set.
Can I get a vibe on if this is part of the ritual, or
This was his keepsake.
I'll take a sketch of it and then I will pocket it.
How old does it look?
The body?
The thing, the clasp thing.
I mean, it looks fairly recent. You guys went to that jewelry fest at the festival. The jewelry, it's similar in quality to that.
We may be able to get a lead from jewelers. Potentially. I'll also point out that since this is part of a ritual, and creatures like this don't exactly try to escape from anywhere, that means that its presence was either negligence or we were meant to find it in that location. It could be a misdirection or used for some other purpose. It could be just trying to get us to look in the wrong spot intentionally.
Could also be a message saying that we're not safe in our city.
It was outside the wall in a shantytown. It could be trying to get us to suspect the shantytown. I mean, we should still investigate it, obviously, but we should entertain the possibility that it could be drawing our eye away from something rather than to something. What are your thoughts, Your Excellency?
I think that whoever behind this is planning something far more dangerous than just taking over Nerton. I think they mean to destroy all of Vassith. They almost did. They almost starved this entire city. And they almost overrun the countryside with undead. They're determined. Whoever's left.
We'll get to the bottom of this. We will expunge them from these lands.
For your sake, I hope so.
Shall we meet with the Seeker? I'll look around.
I assume you were trying to get other party members to weigh in?
Yeah. In case anybody has more questions or anything.
No,
Time to bounce?
time to bounce.
Okay, with the apostasy thing, Cliff mentioned that the Cosgrove Church is Catholic.
Yes, Catholic. Cosgrove is Catholic, yeah. Anyways, yes, Seeker Tacitus says, yes, I found him. right by this gate.
You found him? Specifically you? Not like someone who reported to you and not like a guard. You specifically found him?
It is my job to detect all magic goings on, and I have to admit, you have made that job a little bit more difficult. But any obvious sorcery, if I'm standing on the high tower of the Masons Guild, and he points up, I can see most of what's going on in this city.
Sorcery, as in, can you detect arcane and divine, or just arcane?
Both.
Is this the first time you felt necromantic magic?
Necromancy isn't mostly studied. We usually try not to keep such codexes around. The temptation has proven too much to many members of the Masons Guild in the past. So, admittedly, this is not something I'm very experienced with, and to be honest, I don't think Idamir is either.
Is there anyone that works within your group that does have more knowledge?
You could check with the librarian, though she is a bit quirky.
I've noticed.
So when you felt this necromantic pulse, you scurried on down there and just saw this guy walking?
I flew, yes.
Did you see anyone else there?
No. And normally I am able to detect life, but with so many people in this city, that hardly proved to be useful.
Unless the people who made him were undead themselves.
Good point.
Did
What's?
you find any?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
sorry.
go ahead. Did you find any hard clues, like footprints, perhaps?
By the time I got to the area just outside the gate, I was able to subdue the zombie before the guards noticed. That would have been quite embarrassing.
What's like?
After
I
the
just want to know
pulse
what's
of,
in like the immediate vicinity. Sorry.
The back wall. The heavy bender isn't too far from that location.
that's actually really fascinating because if a zombie was discovered by the guards, it might have caused a panic leading to an investigation right next to the criminal underlord. Probably not something the criminal underlord would have liked. So, do we think this is like an indirect attack on them from someone?
Uh,
Or am I just like overthinking that?
It's a possibility.
He kind of blink. Tacitus Seeker kind of blinks, kind of pondering your words and saying, and asking, "Are you saying someone is setting up the Brightmore family?"
Either setting them up or trying to get a lot of investigation going on in their area to limit their actions.
Like if there was if there was some zombies in the heavy bender, you would have noticed it, right? So if one got out, wandered over here, doesn't really make a lot of sense, does it? But since it's close by, it does increase suspicion towards them.
It wasn't the zombie per se, but the use of magic that drew me to the area.
Do you suspect necromantic magic or some other kind of magic?
Again, hard to say, but based on what Idamir has observed with the tattoos, it seems like we're dealing with him.
I gasp and hold my holy symbol.
Do we want to keep chasing this down, or do we want to find a new point of interest and come back to this when we have more information? What do you get? The party want?
I think chasing down a couple leads might be a good idea first, especially before we need to investigate the heavy bender anyway, right? So, but we might want to get a little more information first.
I mean, I'd like to just hear what the dwarfs and the elf think, because you and I have been talking a lot.
I am good to check out the heavy bender now.
Yeah, let's do
Christ.
it.
I was on mute the whole time.
Oh
So,
my
gosh.
gosh.
it hasn't been for all of 5 minutes. Somebody had mentioned that it was a little odd that this could be construed as somebody sending zombies after the Brightmoors. So that got me thinking that this might be even bigger than everybody's problem with the Mafia family. So my attention has just been turned basically to seeking this out with the idea that perhaps that's somebody's grand vision is to take over everything just with all of this necromancy. And so yeah,
Hey,
chasing down some of these leads would be a good idea.
I really
Yeah.
like that idea. This necromancer's been really controlling, powerful, nefarious.
Yeah.
The fact that there's a zombie here is not a coincidence, so I like that idea a lot.
So yeah, chasing down these leads and investigating we were just talking about it, investigating the bar where the Brightmoors hang out at all seem to be good, or seems to be the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind doing the heavy bender first. That's what everybody wants.
Let's do it.
Do it.
I just want to ask one last question. What does he think the Seeker think about or I guess what the Masons Guild and the Seeker specifically think about the Merchants Guild?
Well, haven't had much dealings with him other than contracts for housing. Never really struck me as a magically competent. Oh, we did install his vault. We designed that. But and yeah, we pretty much built the whole bank too. But yeah, other than that, not much interaction.
Quick question before we leave. You're always watching. If we're getting into trouble and like gonna die in a fight with like anyone, if we just like start making a bunch of magic wavelengths, will you come help us?
I have many responsibilities of this city, and well, I am charged with helping you. I am also charged with helping so much else. There are even limits to what a seeker can do.
Would you mind if at the very least I used magic sparingly in aid to our search of clues?
I can overlook a certain magical activity in the back wall for the rest of the day. And make sure to let my other seekers know that, my fellow seekers know that it is merely a some what do you call that? Anomaly. Yeah, there it is. Some strange anomaly localized in the area.
Got it, got it, got
Strange anomaly localized entirely within the Alpha Quadrant.
Aurora Borealis.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right, let's go pretend to work for the criminal underlord.
All right.
Post haste.
it. When we approach the back wall, I am gonna go back to Bilbo Baggins mode.
Okay.
As we're walking there, I'm gonna ask Therum, "Hey Therum, if you have you tried talking to these visions?"
They're usually brief enough for me, and there's no. They're too brief and too unpredictable for me to interact with them.
Would you be willing to try experiments to see if we can elongate them so you can talk to them?
I don't see why not. I've
It's
been
very
seeing
foggy,
them.
Dame.
Been seeing them for a while now. They don't. At this point, they don't scare me. Though they are unsettling.
Maybe after we're done here, we take a very short, measured walk away from the city into the fog, see if we can get those visions to occur, but not go far enough that we can't just run back if we are in danger.
Yeah, we should. There has to be something to glean from these visions. They can't be just meaningless.
Yeah, if that doesn't work, we can also try going out at night, or maybe we can have the cartographer bring the book, which
Oh, we've never ventured out at night.
true,
Everyone knows you don't go out at night.
but the city seems pretty safe for that because if we get in trouble, we can just sprint to the back wall. And maybe we'll all die, but we'll at least get science done before we die.
In the name of science.
In the name of science.
All right, we heading into the heavy bender.
Do it.
Oh yeah.
All right. You walk into the heavy bender. By the way, the place totally smells awful. A lot of people wearing face cloths and a lot of incense burning. And when you get in here, it is just smoke filled with all the sage burning to try and cancel out the smell. Because that water, you know, it's not clean water. It's sewage. And there are various rough-looking characters, but one distinct character is the bartender, who's bald with an eye patch. He's got a tunic on with no sleeves, and on his shoulder is an anchor, and he is wiping the bar. He's got one mean-looking brown eye.
Brown eye?
Why is he bending over at us?
No, oh man, I walked into that. Anyways, no, he, he's got an
A
eye
face
patch.
eye.
He's
A
got an
face
eye-
eye.
Yeah, face eye. Jeez,
Oh,
get your mind out of the gutters.
No, Cliff, join us in the gutter.
Cosgrove protects us from being dirty while being down here, so it's actually pretty cozy. So Stickbeard, do you want to take the lead, or you want one of us
Cool.
to talk to him?
Oh yeah, there is the classic thing where there's kind of this murmuring about, but then when you guys walk in, everybody pauses, looks at you for a second, and then goes back to what they're doing.
Cool. They know who we are.
We are the heroes of Westmarch, after all. And you are a lord.
Tuckbit, I think you should be the one to talk to them.
You said Tuckbit?
Yes.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
Hmm.
I will walk towards the bar. I will say, Cosgrove, protect my nose as I smell terrible. I'll walk up to the bartender and I'll say, we haven't met. I'm with my lord Stickbeard. We're here to protect your boss. Is he here?
Oh, you want to talks to the boss?
Yeah.
He kind of smiles and looks at you, Stickbeard, and says, "Glad to hear you've changed your mind about things."
If I had a hat, I would tip it. But yeah, I give a solemn nod.
Eventually, Roland Brightmore comes out. So yeah, he walks kind of behind the bar. Just there's a back door area here that he steps through, and then out comes not only him but Roland Brightmore. Roland Brightmore is very tall, wiry build, with intense green eyes. He's got a scar. Oh yeah, hook-shaped scar over his cheek. There it is. With dark hair and a ponytail, tan complexion. And he's like, welcome, welcome, Lord Stickbeard Smith. We have royalty here. Bust out the good stuff, Frank. And, what do I owe the pleasure?
Well, you see. Oh, Joe, are you talking? Your circle is lighting up. I want to make sure I'm not interrupting you.
I have no idea what to say, so go ahead, roll with it.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
Well, you see, we may have gotten information that we want to give to you because we worked with you in the past. By the way, I'm Tuckbit, and I look up at him because I am short for a human. This guy is taller and much more muscly than I am, but I'm just looking up at him, and I'm like, we only worked a little bit together in the past, and we have some information that we think you might want. We don't have a long working relationship, but we understand that you provide an important service to the city, and couldn't sit right with us without you having all the information you need to keep yourself safe.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Well, it's good to hear, good to hear. And, what is this information?
I'm gonna even give it to you for free because I feel like we should at least be civil. Uh, you see, do you know what a zombie is?
Everybody kind of like starts kind of grumbling, and turning towards to what you say. He looks at the patrons. Roland Brightmore does. He goes, "You guys mind your own business." And then he turns to you. "You don't talk so loud."
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm used to Cosgrove protecting my conversations. Is there a back room?
Damn it.
Let's take a walk.
Excellent. I'll follow behind him, blindly confident.
Walks down, takes you to a different part of the region. You do notice that he's not necessarily being followed, but a lot of people he passes by on the street mind him. And they also mind you.
Wow, you really are a big shot. That's pretty cool. Is it supposed to be a black screen?
Oh crap. What? Oh crap. Oh.
Just takes a minute to load. That's all.
No, it's me. Just here, I'll just boop. That should.
Oop. Well,
That should
there
do
we
it.
go.
can see things.
It takes you kind of in the middle here. And he's like, everyone within earshot from here works for me, so I don't mind talking. So what do you know?
Well, I know that recently the Masons spotted a zombie a couple blocks from here. And kind of thinking that's not a coincidence. So either you're a necromancer or the necromancer's trying to mess with you. And so just figured a candid conversation, giving you the knowledge that there's a necromancer around. If it's you, you don't care. You already know that. If it's not you, this probably seems like a big deal to you. So, are you concerned? And now you have this information. The Masons caught the zombie real quick, so it didn't make a hubbub. Don't know what their plan was, but it was just a couple of blocks from here, and I'll say whatever street corner or direction it is from here.
Oh, yeah. So there was a zombie walking around, but before anyone else saw it, the Masons scooped him up. Tell me another.
I look at him dead in the face, very calm, and say, "We literally saw it. This is Lord Stickbeard Smith, the zombie slayer. That's how he became a lord. He's killed dozens of zombies by himself. And earlier today, we saw a zombie. The Masons captured that zombie, and it was definitely someone from the slums. You missing a courier, by any chance, with half of a brooch?"
I kind of chime in and I look at the guy and I say, "Wait a minute. You actually don't know about the zombie? Sounds like you're not as looped in on the information around here as you think you are."
So why don't we'll say Tuckbit and Therum, why don't you give me both a couple of charisma checks?
Couple is in 2 each or 1 each?
One each.
Haha, my first real roll was a failure. Thank you. Thank you, there.
So yeah, as you're talking, Therum, he gives you like a real mean look, but then kind of like marinates your words for a second and goes, "So if I were to believe you, not saying that I do, but if I were to, and there is a zombie, what possible help could you get from a guy like me? I know nothing about necromancy."
We're not here seeking your help. We recognize that you are a powerful player in this city. I don't know who's supporting you, but I know that the alliances go deep. I know that you have people in the Rangers Guild who back you up, and I know some other things too. You're here to stay. I don't really care about that, but you are a powerful player, and this was on your doorstep. So this was a favor. This was an olive branch. You know, we've worked together a little bit in the past, and this is a sign of good faith. We're not looking for protection. or help. If you have any advice, if you have any help, happy to hear it. Uh, Basically, just trying to get a vibe check. And the vibe was, you didn't know about it. And that gives us information. We now don't think that you're a necromancer, which is neat.
He gets a real big smile. Olive branch, huh? And he stands up straight and he walks real close towards you.
I'm gonna try to stand up to my tippy toes and I'm literally gonna say, I'm sorry, I'm just real short.
You want to give me an olive branch? Why don't you tell me how you're getting into the sewers?
I just got to town. I don't know. I've been here 2 days. That's my way of saying not it.
He kind of looks around at the rest of you.
Oh, we know how to get in, but not sure that we want to just give you that information.
His face flinches with anger. He goes, "You know, anybody holding out on me as much as you guys have would be in the ground by now. And I don't mean in the sewers. I mean
This doesn't
buried."
seem like an amicable relationship. We came out to do you a favor. We walked out of our way to give you some information that you didn't have. You expect more?
I don't think you understand. This is my turf. And as he's saying that, like, guys start coming out of the woodwork. This is my domain, and while I appreciate the information that you're giving me, I
Wait
can't
a
help but
minute.
think that you're lying to me by pretending to be my friend when you're not giving me what I ask for.
Your domain, isn't this the king's domain?
Yeah. So as more guards or more of his goons kind of show up, he does kind of look around. He goes, "Tell me, do you see the king's men around here? Whose men do you see here?"
I see both. Actually, yes, I do see the King's men. I see your men, clearly, but I also see the King's men. You want more information? I'll tell you more information. Why do you think a dwarf was promoted to lord so fast? We're a puppet. We're operating directly under orders from the king. You think that we have access to the sewers? We do. The king gave us those access. We are his soldiers. And that's more information than we're supposed to give you. And that's why I'm giving it to you now, because I don't want to fight. I want you to know the situation. And we are working directly for the king. So the king's men are here because we're the king's men and they know exactly where we are. They know exactly who we're talking to. So if you kill us right now, and I'm sure that you could, the king will 100% know who did it. There's bigger things at play than your ambitions and mine. There's wars at play. There's necromancy at play. What we're fighting about right now doesn't matter compared to what the king is dealing with. And that's why we're working.
His eye twitches, and for a second it's like he's about to scream, but then he kind of calms himself down, says, "You're right. Killing a lord in the city of Vassith would bring too much heat on us, given your recent knighthood. So, I will grant you your chance to escape now, before I think up of a way that I can get rid of you and make it look like an accident."
Fair to me, it's fair to you guys. Want to leave?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do that.
As we turn to leave, I will say, may Cosgrove protect you.
He gives you the finger.
All right, we bounce. After we're out of earshot, I'm going to walk up to Stickbeard and Theorem and say, yeah, you guys are right. That guy needs to go. He's crazy as heck. Can't work with the unreasonable.
Yep.
Everybody make a wisdom check.
Oh. Dang, I've been crushing it on my checks.
I have been not crushing it on the checks.
Why is mine a success if it says 17, but Kalani's was a fail at 14?
Because you have to roll under whatever your stat is.
My wisdom is pretty good. Okay.
The one thing that you did glean from that interaction was when Roland said, I don't know nothing about necromancy. He was telling the truth on that.
So he knows something? Because he doesn't know nothing?
Oh, come on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
He's a mafia guy. You got to translate the bad grammar in what he's meaning to say, not what he, actually said.
Mm-hmm.
If he says I don't know nothing about nothing, it means he knows something about it.
But no,
so it's all confusing.
Right. But in this instance, when he said I know nothing about necromancy, and when you brought up the zombie, he did genuinely seem shocked. Like, what? That happened?
I was thinking that if we gave him some information, he would be amicable, but that guy...
He sucks. He tried to scam us before.
Yeah, he really does suck. Like, I know you guys told me about that story, but... All right, well, where are we going now? Do we want to go try to have a talk with the Antlered King? Or something else?
We could do that. We have a couple. We have a couple options. We could try to find where this brooch came from.
Yeah, we could go talk to the jeweler.
Merchant's Gate has lots of shops.
And in fear of sounding a bit like a broken record, it might be good to talk to the church about this. I mean, they are diametrically opposed to necromancy in theory.
Theorem, if you're up for trying to talk to the Antlered King Visions, I think today would be an opportune time, specifically because of the overcast fog. Today's the best shot we're going to get.
Let's try it out.
So we'll go to...
Where's this
not...
fog? Again?
Actually, yeah, is it just over the whole region?
Over the whole region.
Where is Vassith on the map? Let's just go to a section of the back wall that is not near where we just were, and walk like just far enough away from the city so that like maybe the crowds aren't as loud, we can't hear it as much, and then just like make a perimeter, and then Therum, you can try to meditate on these visions. I don't have any ayahuasca, but I can get some.
Whatever helps. I don't have the visions have been random, so I don't know how to just make them happen.
Ficus
Also-
isn't here with the mushrooms.
What are these black
Yeah.
spots?
Dense thickets. The canopy is so dense that no sunlight penetrates it.
Oh,
That doesn't scream Mordor.
Well, it's like a forested. You know, Mordor was more volcanic and mountains. This is just
Yeah.
more forest.
It would have been more accurate to me to say like final boss region. So yeah, let's make a perimeter and just let Therum do his thing and see if anything happens.
I'll go on my knees and I'll pray for Cosgrove to push this necromancer out into the open.
I will just study Therum to see if I can see any energies or anything.
I feel like it usually happens when we're talking about Chernobog or like about his daggers or like we were around the zombie. So I don't know, like I feel like bringing it up would like induce it.
or start chanting of Chernobog. Do that.
I am so scared to do that.
I will start to, with consent from everyone else, I will start to draw some of some of the symbols that I have the sketch of from the tattoos from the zombie. I'll start to draw some of them in the dirt with a stick.
I'll warn caution, but other than that,
Make a save versus spell, Tuckbit.
Oh shit. I'm gonna die on my first episode. Where's that button?
There
Save.
should be saves somewhere on your character sheet. You just click that button.
Is it spells, rods?
Yeah,
No.
spells, rod, staves. Yep.
Am I alive?
Ah. You start writing it, and for a second, you feel another hand helping you finish. And that's when you let go.
Ew.
And did I see anything or?
No, but for a moment, you felt another force kind of like grab hold of your arm and what you were writing with, and like starting to like finish out the symbols. Because like what you had were rough sketches and kind of incomplete, but this one is like more detailed. And as soon as that started happening, like, yeah, you immediately let go of the stick.
So Therum, do you see anything?
Not yet. Let me. I'll just sit down on the ground and just start chanting Chernobog over and over again.
I would have waited till he was chanting before I was writing, so I think he probably would have been doing that already.
Oh.
Does that change anything, Abacus?
Wait, while you're writing the symbols?
Yeah, I would have waited till he was chanting
Oh
about
yeah.
Chernobog to start writing the symbols.
Oh, well, in that case,
Oh, that does change something.
does change something, yes.
We've become the bad guys.
Yeah, so, Therum, you saw the figure in the orange formal clothing with the orange chaperon and flaming eyes. He was actually helping Tuckbit with the runes before Tuckbit dropped the stick. And he looked a little disappointed.
He looked disappointed. He was helping with the runes, like helping to write them.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I was writing them with my own hand, but after I wrote a certain number of them, then I felt a hand helping me, and then I freaked out and dropped the stick.
Perhaps if you continue to write the runes, we can make him physically manifest.
Do we want that? I think he'd kill us all.
So, like, Cosgrove basically built his whole identity on sealing Chernobog from never being released on this earth again. You guys are two priests of Cosgrove. That's
Yeah.
pretty much the opposite of what you want to do.
So upon asking Therm if he's, so Therm, did you see anything?
Yeah, I saw. I relay what happened. Chernobog looked disappointed that you was trying to help you write the runes, and disappointed that I don't know, just had a look of disappointment on his face.
Yeah, I felt his hand, and I felt him trying to force me to keep writing, but through ironically through, I guess, the shield of Cosgrove, I was able to resist it and stop writing. I don't think anyone should try that again. I don't know what would have happened if I wasn't able to resist that.
Well, it seems my visions are not bringing me more information. For now, it's probably best if we just not, proverbially poke the bear.
Agreed. I'll try to get these translated from the cartographer or someone else.
This is a crack into Chernobog's realm. We should try to get rid of these visions as quickly as possible.
What do you recommend?
I don't
Stabbing
know.
Theron's eyes out. That'll stop the visions.
I don't like
There's
that
a voice
idea.
in the sky.
I meant more like
Uh,
like a.
I mean,
I mean, that would work, I guess.
Unless this is one of those reverse things where, like, I don't know, maybe if I smash more of those daggers, it would help me. I don't know. That maybe that makes Chernobog get weaker when we destroy his daggers.
Let's go get some.
I don't know.
We could go find a tree.
Let's go dagger smashing. Unfortunately, both us clerics don't know how to use magic yet. Maybe we can go find the Moon Knight. Help us burn that tree.
So, the last place you saw any amount of daggers was over through Nurton, and it was with the Necromancer's cults, because there were multiple of them. And you, yeah, last time you saw them was in Nurton. So that's if you wanted to like look for any more, they basically would be investigating the countryside of Nurton.
I guess we could go. I mean, we have fire, so we could burn one of the trees if we go check out a tree. But we could also go to Nurton.
Do you want to do that today? Or
It's
maybe
only
when
an hour and 15 minutes away.
What time is it in the day?
I'd say, given all the activities you've done, it's past noon.
we could do that, but if with the foggy day, it might be more dangerous.
That's also true.
I'm okay with doing that today, and I'm also okay with doing it on a clear sky day. I think we can take a vote if anyone feels particularly strongly.
I would like to
I'm good
investigate
with
this
either.
further.
Investigate the daggers further.
Yeah, just chase down any lead. We gotta nip this in the bud.
All right, let's go dagger hunting.
Do it.
I mean, if you think it'll weaken Chernobog's influence in this realm, then I'm all for it.
I mean, I'm just a dwarf. What do I know? But seems to me destroying the weapons that he has, destroying the weapons with his power in it might help weaken him. Of course, they also gave me destroying a dagger is also what gave me vision, so I don't know.
At any point, did you feel like your will was not your own, or when I was writing those symbols, it was trying to force my hand? At any point, since you've received these visions, was there ever a point in which you had to resist your will being taken over?
No, I don't believe they've just been visions. Unless I'm mistaken, I don't believe they ever made me do anything that wasn't my own will. It's been a while since they started, so I don't remember all of them, but I don't seem to recall them ever, you know, exerting any sort of force over me.
It
That's
sounds
good to know.
you may have been gifted with being aware of Chernobog's presence in this world.
Could be. Maybe if I go smash some more of them, I'll be able to see his presence even more clearly.
Let's do it.
Seems like a
guys-
good idea to me.
You guys go to the countryside on the overcast day.
Can I bring Lucky?
Yes, that is always a great idea. Lucky's great for carrying around our extra equipment.
Where
Hey,
do we have access to Lucky? Like,
she's in the city,
okay.
right?
Yeah, Lucky tends to just follow us around wherever we.
Well,
Just incredibly smart horse.
Well, no,
Yes.
when you're in the city, she stays at the stables, like at one of the gates.
Yeah, but okay. I had forgotten if we had actually taken with her in the first place so many weeks ago.
She was at the festival parade thing with you
Okay.
guys.
Yep, that's right.
Off to see the Nurton.
Oh god.
Sorry.
How are you guys approaching, I guess, the countryside? Where are you investigating? Are you going to Nurton directly? There's the forest where you fought some of them. There's the surrounding. There are the roads where you also battled some. For those who were, Stickbeard Smith. This is kind of like where your memory of the battle. It's like, where would you look for one of these?
Maybe the last place that we saw one.
Oh yeah, I didn't peen
Start
anything.
there.
I didn't peen anything. So hold on. Just so everybody's aware what I'm talking. This is Nurton, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then this forest nearby in these ruins area, lot of fights, And then there used to be a barrier here, lot of fights. You also did some battles over here. And I think you approached from this side and saw that there was some undead zombies, but then retreated back.
Why don't we just make our way to Nurton itself and see what's there?
Yeah.
Or is Nurton repopulated? Like, did people move back in there?
Well, you haven't checked on the city, so this would be the first opportunity.
It's only noon, so we got time.
Love how we liberated it and then just never went back.
Just assumed that everything would return to normal.
So there are, as you approach the road, there are Ranger Guild checkpoints leading into Nurton, and they stop you. What business? This place isn't necessarily safe, especially considering the weather. What business do you have going through Nurton at this time?
We're the heroes of Westmarch. We go where we please. And we are out to ensure that the forces of darkness stay vanquished.
Oh, the Liberators of Nurton. Ah, yes, yes. Go on ahead.
Before we go on ahead, have you guys seen any Roman skeletons or anything fishy?
There are still stray undead lingering, probably former residents of Nurton that have lost their way.
And no necromancers, people in cloaks, maybe stabbing each other.
No, we haven't seen anything like that.
Good, good.
What's the current condition in Nurton itself?
No one lives there, but we're still rebuilding. At the moment, we're just wheeling the bodies out.
You find any daggers?
Ah, kind of scratches his head. I mean, I'm sure a few of them had some whittling knives.
You find any gnarly looking black daggers? Don't look like anything you've ever seen before.
Nah, I'm pretty sure I would have remembered seeing something like that.
Well, if you do see one, I would keep your distance. They're not. They're filled with dark energy. Thank you.
And we proceed on to Nurton.
Yeah.
May Cosgrove's shield protect you.
And you.
Kalani, are you invisible for this whole time?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm just still.
I love that.
Yeah, why not? Just wander around invisible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, we'll be like, hey, Kalani. Okay, you're still there. Nice. Excellent.
Into Nurton, I guess.
Mhm.
More Ranger Guild checkpoints, but you're able, in a similar fashion, talk your way through. And no, none of them have seen any of the daggers that you describe. And you get back to Nurton. I didn't update the map, so it's not nearly as gnarly, but still pretty gnarly. Where is that?
The first episode ever, we went back to the husk of Nurton. That seems to be a trend.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, it's the battle map. Hold on, let me just turn off the, because this is an actual.
Damn, it's really like we just left it.
Yeah, yeah. There it is. Perfect.
Oh my gosh, I forgot how many of those guys were left.
Nurton looks tinier than I would have thought.
So Nurton is only slightly bigger than Ackerton, Sutton, and Ormkirk, which are other small hamlets.
Okay.
But yeah, this is not Maurice's Reach or Berry Pont.
All right, let's get looting.
We're just looking for the dagger. We do not. Dear Lord, we don't need more crap.
Yeah, we're looting for the dagger. I'm gonna whistle a merry tune as I go into the nearest building. Gonna go see if there are neckmancers in here.
I am just. I am on. I am following you, young.
Now you gotta follow me and frick. What's the other guy's name? Starts the G. You're like the other main guy who's not here today.
Oh, Guilford?
Oh,
Guilford.
the
Yeah, now
Grand.
you gotta follow me or Guilford.
Nah, I know Guilford can get out of trouble easy enough. I'm not sure about you.
That's true. I am a level 1 and I've literally never seen combat.
Oh boy.
So you're keeping me from doing something silly and also keeping me safe from myself.
Yep.
You guys aren't the only one here. There are some of the Rangers Guild, and just as the other checkpoint said, they're wheeling bodies out, pushing debris, um,
Excuse me.
just trying to clean up before rebuilding. That's kind of the phase of where they're at. They're still in the middle of cleanup. Oh yeah, and it smells awful. It smells. It smelled, pretty bad already, but now it's like, oh, it's been stewing a while.
Hmm. Well, there doesn't seem to be any doesn't seem to be any daggers here. People are just cleaning up. And shall I go wander through the countryside?
Well, did
One
did
thing I want to check.
did any of you investigate any of the buildings or?
Oh, I guess not. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I guess. Yeah, I'll just wander, take a quick gander through the buildings, and just take a look around
I
first.
know that Stickbeard and I are in one of them.
Just go ahead and ping where you guys, I guess, want to investigate.
Did we come from we came from the south, right? So we would have come in from this way.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out this big building over here.
Then I will check out this cafeteria looking one.
So Therum, you have chosen what looks to be like some kind of storage silo slash sundries place. People probably got their general supplies here based on what this is. And where you are, Tuckbit, seems to be some kind of meeting hall. Again, there's debris and bodies, and it's ruin all around. What about the other three?
Is this area with all of the X'd out thingies, are there Rangers Guild like over there?
Yeah, there are some, but there's still a sizable bone pile.
Okay. I'd like to just kind of walk around the bone pile and see if anything stands out as like what we're looking for.
Time to go digging in the bones. That actually makes sense to me too.
I will go somewhere like where people cannot see, become visible, and then just like come on back out.
All right.
And then do some poking around the bone.
I'd actually like to talk to the rangers here. I want to know what their plan is for the area.
All right. So all of you've got a thing going, and I'll just go in the order of my Discord screen. So we'll go with Therum first. Therum, you are searching the storage area, and there's really not much of anything like use here. It looks like whatever food was here was spoiled, and then it does look like this place was looted, probably by other villagers who were surviving. Um, Based on like what's missing.
Okay.
Though it does seem that even after the debris, there were people eating in here. Like there's remnants of some food and a campfire that's like built atop a debris pile. Like it had that this impromptu campsite had to have happened after after this place went to crap. In the grand hall, amongst the debris, you shuffle some of the stone bricks that have fallen from the wall in some kind of violent action, mass violent action. Destroyed part of the wall. Stone bricks fell out. You search them on the pile. You find a body wearing black robes, and clutched in his hand is a dagger.
Who finds this one?
You were searching the Grand Hall, right? Or the former Grand Hall.
The big cell building to the south?
Yeah.
Okay. I will. I don't want to touch that thing, and I don't want it like someone could come in and take it. I will cover it back up, and after it's nice and hidden, I'm gonna very quickly go look for one of the dwarfs.
All right. And Stickbeard and I totally said I'm gonna go in this order and then didn't go in that order. Man, I'm good at following my own directions. But yeah, we'll just keep going. Stickbeard and Kailani, you guys were searching through the bone pile.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
You find a bunch of rusty weapons and, bashed skulls. Some with, you're like, oh yeah, my weapon did that. You can tell by the damage. You're like, oh yeah, this one's my kill. And you, among some of the bones, hold on, searching mental palace. Occasionally, when you get back a certain amount of backbones, you do find more of these runes. You remember the super skeletons, so to speak, being covered entirely by these same runes. But after inspecting many of the bones, you just know that all these skeletons must have had some kind of rune. It's just that it was one, and it was on one of their spinal cords. Which means these skeletons didn't occur naturally like originally thought. They were created.
Well, it's nice to get that suspicion confirmed.
Yeah.
These aren't naturally occurring skeletons at all.
Well,
Yeah.
the blight tree naturally spawns, basically raises the dead.
Gotcha.
That's kind of that's what the blight trees do. These weren't these though. Based on the runes, somebody used some kind of magic, divine or arcane, to bring them back.
So someone's placing runes on these bodies in order to bring them back to life. So,
Haven't gotten to Titch and his investigation with the Rangers Guild.
Hmm.
But yeah, you speaking with them, uh, they right now, like, oh, we don't know much about the planning. That's above my pay grade. But from what I understand, after this cleanup, the Masons Guild is going to come in here and start rebuilding the buildings, and hopefully, if the people aren't too traumatized who survived Nurton, they can move on back. But it's too late, you know. It's too late. We're looking at riots. I mean, you heard what's going on in Maurice's Reach, right?
No.
No.
Oh yeah.
We've-
I mean, the grain prices have been forecasted according to the Farmers Guild up there. They forecasted the prices much higher. So a lot of those goat herders are in a lot of pain right now. And from what I understand, Maurice's Reach is pretty much under martial law. Lady Vargas, you know, is barely able to contain the civility of her people. And it's only going to get worse.
That's very troubling. What do you think of this Lady Vargas?
You know, her father's the hand of the king. She seems decent enough, I guess. I mean, what else are you going to do when, like, all the people are revolting against you? When the the circumstances outside of your control kind of lead your hand, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, I don't envy her. What is causing the grain increase?
Friend, Nurton, here. This was like, he's like, look, here. He pulls out a map because he's a ranger, and rangers, of course, have maps. I was, okay, so there's Vassith, yeah? There's the castle. And over here is Nurt. Now, to get to the rest of the countryside, you have to go through Nurton. Also, Nurton has farm fields that will not grow. It's too late in Florial for us to germinate any seeds. So we'll be losing out on that crop. And we also lost out on that trade supply. All these things, the limit of the temporary limit of supply, which, oh yeah, by the way, the trade routes still aren't fully open yet. We do have some, you know, supplies coming through here, but it's not like how it was. The Nook, as this region was called, used to be a very high traffic area. Now nobody comes through. So that leads people to either go off-road, which is incredibly dangerous, or they try to go through the Dwarven Mountains. And we're not on the best of terms as far as neighborhoods go.
Is there any other part of the kingdom that has grain stores?
Well, I mean, there's Deerport, Skybraid, the East Green, but I doubt just one community is going to make all the difference. I guess there's also Peatsland. But again, Nurton was a big farming community and very important trade supply route. Prices are only going to go up.
Well, thank you for this eye-opening conversation.
May Cosgrove's shield protect you or whatever.
How close are you to these reconstruction efforts or clearing this out until the Masons get here?
We're still weeks, if not months away.
I
mean,
see.
there's like a lot of debris, and you know, it is kind of, and you know, the Rangers Guild is, you know, taking care of a lot of jobs, so it's not like all of the Rangers Guild can come in here and take care of it. It's like you see like half a dozen men out here.
Okay, I'll say may cause your shield protect you, etc. And I'll go seek out Stickbeard.
Okay, we'll say that everybody reconvenes back to Nerton. Let me get you guys back on map. And oh yeah, the blight tree isn't there anymore. It's burned down. But now all you guys kind of just huddle up.
As soon as I would be next to either Therum or Stickbeard, preferably both, I'd be like, I haven't seen these daggers for myself, but feel like I see one. Do you guys want to come back with me?
Huh. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll take him back to the spot and uncover the dagger, and I'll say, "There she is." Now I'm thinking we have two different theories. One is if Therum continues to smash more, it might strengthen his bond and allow him to discuss or interact with this antlered king. Another theory is what if another person smashed it? Would it recreate the visions? If another person smashed one, would it recreate the visions, or is there something unique about Therum?
I think, if I recall correctly, the hammers were extremely resistant to being smashed, which is why I smashed it to begin with because of my strength. But I don't know. You could take a try. You could try.
Yeah,
It is known among Atoll Grove that Therum is the strongest of the residents.
yeah, if the party agrees, I will try to smash this dagger with my mace.
Do we not want to bring it back, perhaps, to the Masons?
As I lift the mace up, I put it back down and say, actually, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
And to my knowledge, like the antlered one that we're interacting with, just as stupid as it sounds, that sounds like Chernobog. I don't actually think we want to talk to Chernobog directly. That just doesn't sound like a good idea to me. We need to find whoever's trying to like bring him back. We don't want to be the ones that end up bringing him back.
I agree with that. I like that idea of not doing the things. I agree with you. If we give the
Now,
dagger,
Go ahead.
what's that?
Sorry.
If we give the dagger to the Masons, I feel like we have to assume that they are on the up and up. If we're giving them this dagger, we're giving them some of our evidence.
Yeah. I can only really hope. Like, the more people we have investigating these, like, unless we've tried as many ways as we can to figure out where these daggers came from.
True, but at least some of the factions have already proven to be shady.
Oh, geez.
If we give the dagger to them, I hope that they're one of the ones who aren't.
Kailani, would you trust the Masons with a dagger?
I mean,
Okay, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Your hesitancy has me worried.
no, I was just thinking, I guess they already had one of the zombies. And so if they had this, they might be able to find out some more information
oh
that
yeah.
could help. So
Maybe we give them this one and then we come back on a future day and find more. There's bound to be more in these woods.
We only
Yeah.
found the one.
And we could always smash it at a later time if that's what it comes to.
Yeah.
There are 3 more houses, and I kind of would like to dig through the roots of the burned tree. You said that these things are made by people getting stabbed with these things at the base of the tree, so
You
maybe
don't
underneath
actually
that fire.
you don't actually want to touch the trees.
Well, if they're burned down, Isn't that
Maybe we
different?
could get a shovel and just push the suit aside.
I mean, the ashes won't hurt you, but if there's like a branch intact, probably
Oh yeah,
not
we
the
could always use
best idea
tools.
to touch.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so if we want to split up again, there's 3 more houses we got to check, and I will look around for a sturdy shovel or something that I can sift through the pile without touching it.
Before we split up, I do want to bring up something to discussion point. I don't think that this location was an accident at all. There's disruption north of here, and I think it feels coordinated. I'd be very worried about the state of things that are going on, and Lord Stickbeard, if I may, it may be worthwhile to use your position and influence to try to get some relief to the north of here, and perhaps we could find a way to expedite the process of reopening this trade route.
I suppose we have to play political games now that we are an actual recognized city. That sounds like a good idea to me.
I suppose as a side benefit, but I'm more worried about the repercussions with this necromancy problem. Feels like whatever schemes are going on are reliant on disrupting this trade route, this grain source, and the riots happening.
Well, the leader of the Masons said that the necromancers attacked Nurton specifically to create a famine. So I agree with that. Those 2 evidences seem to agree.
I think it's a good priority. These lands certainly need to be cleared and consecrated as soon as possible.
I'm gonna start digging through the suit with my shovel.
At the bottom, you find one dead body. It's skeletonized, wearing a black robe, partially ripped. It's embedded with the root structure.
And the root structure looks like the tree doesn't look like a dagger anymore.
No, yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything left of the dagger. And the tree's roots kind of have this kind of bone color, and sometimes the knots of it look like skulls.
I know we're running at the end of the time, so just to save time, I'll tell the rest of the group that it looks like the daggers turn into the trees as the process goes on. So the daggers are baby trees.
Ew, they're like saplings.
Yeah, they're like saplings, really bricked up necromancy saplings.
Is there some way to destroy any remains of these trees or these saplings?
Fire.
Yeah, I would like to just light anything we can find on fire. Branches, saplings, whatever.
Okay, you finish burning down any remnants of this tree. The Rangers Guild takes notice, but then it's like, it's probably better that you do that. And better you than me, because I don't want to be anywhere near that thing. Also, because yes, we are approaching the 3 hours, and I will say that you search the 3 houses, and all you really find is like evidence of tragedy. You're pretty sure at one point one family kind of like one of the members turned and then turned on the rest of them, based on how the struggle inside one of the houses went down. But yeah, it kind of gives you a perspective of like who these people were. You know, small farming community looked like a bunch of farm families, so lots of kids and lots of brothers and sisters and lots of cousins, and yeah, they all just kind of it's all burnt up now.
Oh, man.
And on that really sad note, we will go back to the bed and breakfast. Where I
Is it
assume you-
difficult to transport the dagger?
Huh?
Is it difficult to transport the dagger back to the town?
As long as you don't directly touching it makes is uncomfortable, but placing it in a bag, it's not as big of an issue.
And does the dagger have any runes on it or anything?
Yes, on the blade there are runes carved into it that are similar to the runes you've observed.
Are any of them the same symbols?
Same motif, but not the same exact symbols.
I'll take a sketch of it as well.
You guys are back at the penthouse suites, and I guess any other details you guys would like to discuss, close up, and then we'll call
Yes.
we'll call it here.
So my follower, my retainer, whatever he is, I would like to send him to Nerton and, with everyone's permission, allocate some of the group funds to like hiring workers to go with him, have him sort of consecrate it, be representative of Cosgrove for the expedited process of rebuilding the area, and try to set up like a shrine to Cosgrove there.
All right. Yeah. He'll do it. Give me the NPC reaction modifier roll.
Where is that?
You roll 2d6 and then like your charisma. I know it's on the character sheet somewhere. Jeez, where is it?
I'm looking too. How do you roll die? I can just roll 2d6.
Yeah, just roll 2d6 and add your charisma modifier.
Okay, how do you roll 2d6 in this again?
/R 2d. Oh,
It's on the retainers page on the third tab at the top.
of course it's somewhere. There it is. Yeah, okay. Third tab. Wow.
There you go.
Wow. Okay, yeah, he'll do it for dirt cheap, half the price that it would normally cost, but it'll cost you guys 200 gold for this venture.
Does this also include giving grain up to the breach?
Oh, giving that trying to get grain. So, you could buy the grain and give it to, but that doesn't necessarily solve the problem. You would have to buy loads of grain, and then you would also have the supply issue. So it's like there's no real easy way to buy yourself out of that situation. But hiring a bunch of workers to get started on opening up Nerton and building a small shrine, Pendon says he can start that for about 200 gold.
Okay, cool. So everybody's cool with that?
That'd probably be good for morale for the town.
Okay. I mean, it's a good first step. I mean, I think that we might have to petition the other houses to contribute to alleviating the grain supply problem, but you know, it's a first step.
Yeah, opening
Yeah.
the trade routes can only help the price of grain.
Yeah, I think that definitely some focus should be paid at some point to petitioning people to provide grain for like a reduced price or something.
I mean, yeah, some of the houses directly benefit from that trade route being open, so I don't even think it'd be difficult to swing.
But yeah, I figured just projecting some Cosgrove influence and rebuilding the trade route for now would be a great first step. Personally. All right. Anything else? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no.
I was going to say, now that we're all together, how much I appreciate pursuing this. It's deeply important to me.
All right. Well, thank you all for playing.
Thank you for DMing. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, chat, for watching. If you wanted to keep up on all serious industry streams, the best way to do that is to give this channel a follow. Alternatively, you can join us on Discord or Ko-fi, where we do the stream announcements. There's also the website, shatteredempire.net. Shattered Empire is a post-apocalyptic interstellar synthwave-fueled space sci-fi tabletop RPG set in the distant future where humanity struggles with the sudden loss of a once great empire known as the Interstellar Nexus. After an event known as the Cataclysm, the central capital systems were consumed by cosmic dust. Knowledge and technology is hoarded, while scavengers and pirates become the highest-grossing industry. New factions rise from the crumbling infrastructure and only cause more destruction as everyone vies for survival. Players can take the role of scavengers exploring derelict ships, space pirates robbing and pillaging, bounty hunters capturing space pirates, or mercenaries doing the dirty work of whichever faction pays the highest in the Shattered Empire. If you go to the website, there's a copy of the free alpha. The free alpha has everything you need to make a character, and if you're a crafty enough game master, you might be able to make your own campaign. So with that, thanks everybody again. This is Abacus Fish, signing off.